Hi everyone, I'm Rosemarie from the Unfinished Lesson, and this is another Quick Win series. In this series, we've been looking at how to build excitement in our studio after the holidays. And in the first three parts of this series, we covered all sorts of different things. So how to welcome clients new and old, how to find our focus, and so how can we share that? And in our third video, we talked a little bit about social media. I will have the links for each of those down below. Be sure to watch those if you haven't already. In part 4 of this series, what we're taking a look at is the first weeks back and some ideas for that. The first weeks in our studio after the holidays really set the tone for what happens afterwards. I have made the mistake where I have just jumped into things and completely overwhelmed my students with like a million new things. And they end up looking a little dazed at the end of lessons. So eventually, as I was talking to my students, I realized I probably shouldn't do that. And so now I really think about what are those first weeks going to do? What do I want to accomplish in those first few weeks? So I'm going to give you a few tips for that today. The first one is you can send a welcome packet in the mail. Now, I like using online storage and I do put things in there for my students, but especially because my studio is now online, I'm actually thinking that it's time for me to send something in the mail. How often do our students get things in the mail? Not very often, right? And emails can get lost or they can just get buried among what feels like a million emails that we get. So mailing something to your students could be a really great option. You can set it up so that it should arrive maybe say just before the first lesson and they get to open it either on a certain date or they open it at the first lesson with you. So kind of like an unboxing. You don't have to put anything expensive in this. I would recommend whatever it is you're going to start with. Maybe that's what you could put in there. The second thing that I would recommend that you do in those first few weeks is onboarding. So I've talked about this in a different video and I will make sure that the link is below. But onboarding is basically making sure that our clients and our students, they know how to do the different things that we are expecting them to do. Now, in terms of online storage, and that's what I talk about in the video, there's certain things that we have to do there, but you can use onboarding for actually a lot of different things. So in terms of doing this and building that excitement in the first weeks, just make sure it's fun, make sure it's really interactive. It's not just you showing, but that your clients and your students are actually doing what it is that you're asking them to do during the week. The third idea is you could have a studio kickoff party. Now this isn't something I've done in my studio, so full disclosure there, but that's because I was a traveling teacher and now I am an online teacher, so it's not going to really work out. But if you have your students coming to you, this could be really fun. And you could have it outdoors or you could have it inside your studio, whatever you're comfortable with. The fourth idea is you could make sure that you play a game, something that even better your student could take home with them or that they could access at home. You want to make the first lessons fun. You want to make them engaging. And it's not that we want the rest of the lessons to be boring, but we need to get that excitement really, really high. As time goes on, excitement wanes. It's just a part of life. No matter what we're doing, eventually things aren't quite as exciting as they used to be. So the higher we can get the excitement level in our studio to start off with, the longer it takes for that to go down. And then the fifth idea that I have for you that I wanted to share today is that you can introduce some fun practice strategies. Now, in the previous videos, yes, I know I've talked about practice, but it really is such an important part of what we do in our studios. And it's such an important part of success for our students. So I would recommend in those first few weeks, definitely focus in on how do you practice. And again, if you can bring the fun into it, make it interesting, make it really engaging, your students are more likely to practice. And what does that mean? Well, it means that they will have built a practice routine that isn't, it's time to practice now, which as parents, look, we've done that, right? Whether it's practice or teeth brushing or whatever, we've all done that. And it's not fun. So if we can make it more interesting for our students, if we in those first few weeks can give the tools and the ideas and make sure it's interesting for our students, it really makes it easier on the parents. So that's something we want to aim for. All right, so you've got 5 ideas. Before you go on with the rest of your day, what I would like you to do is write down what are you going to do each week for the first 2 to 4 weeks that will set your students up for success while still keeping it really engaging. So that's really all you have to do before you go on with the rest of your day. I hope you have an incredible day, and I am looking forward to hearing from you down below in the comments. What are some of the ideas that you chose? All right, well, I will hope to see you in the next video, and bye.